Welcome to Lock Picking Legend.
And yes, indeed, you are watching Lock Picking Legend. Lovely to see you. Obviously, I can't see you, but the sentiment was intended. I want to say a special thank you and hello to all the new subscribers. Channel's growing at an acceptable rate. But what I will say is, if I was to average out, say, the last 4 videos, less than 40% of the people who watched them were actually subscribed. So if you do watch these videos, do us a favour and subscribe. I mean, it doesn't only help me, it helps you, because I'll make more videos. If I get more subscribers, I'll make more content. Quid pro quo, Clarice, and all that. Anyway, let's cut to the chase. Everyone is talking about the LISHI-STYLE Dimple Lock Pick tools. Absolutely incredible. They come in at about 70 quid. There's probably a bit of VAT on that. In this video, I mean, UK bump keys have got the ABUS and CISA. That one pick does both of them. The ULTION WXM, the ULTION Freestar, the MUL-T-LOCK 3DS, the ISEO R6, and the TESA T60. They do also do the locks for vans or the L4V, but I'm not going to show you that pick on this video, because the next video I'm going to compare the LISHI-STYLE Dimple pick with another tool for that lock, and the other tool is about 500 quid. No. So anyway, we will have a look at the rest during this video, and I'll tell you what, these are incredible. You get a spare pick with it, you know, the actual sort of picking needle, so if that does break or snap, it's not going to break or snap when you're picking locks. It's usually, you know what these things are like with Lishi picks. You put it in your bag, you don't put it in a case, it gets hooked on something, you pull it out, bing. But rather than having to buy a new pick, you've got one already sitting there, which I think is a nice move. I haven't seen them. I haven't seen you get an extra pick in any of the other options. Anyway, without further ado, let's crack on and pick some locks.
Legendary.
Okay, CISA, ABUS, they're 2 different brands. This will work on CISA and ABUS. This is the EC850. CISA Extra Classic or Extra Classy? Gnarly old keyway there. Gross. Bite your hand off. But that keyway isn't the only thing that makes this lock tricky. Look how small it is. So the pick doesn't go all the way in and the pins don't line up. It's a short Euro profile for 6 pins. They are compact, but no problem. Much like the Yale Lishi that can pick pins at different spacings, I'm just doing the same. I'm going through it. I'm looking for binders. I'm being really careful I don't overset pins there. And look, this is the most minute amount of tension on this lock. I mean, I'm not even resting my thumb on it. I think the differences between the pin heights in this lock are minimal. But it's no problem. You find that out by giving it a couple of goes. That's what I've learned. So I just keep going back through it. If that's a full set. That's pin 2 there. You hear that? Lovely set there. This is 1. That needs setting. That's 3. Gently, gently, gently on the tension. It's lovely having such a direct transmission. I mean, that turner, because of the size of the turner, you can almost feel how much the pin is moving. Other picks that have got bigger turners, the relative difference in size compared with the movement you're making on the turner and what's actually going on in the lock is too big. I'm getting some counter rotation on 5. So, like a spool pin, I'm just going to get... Look, I've got no tension. No tension. I'm going to manually slack the tension off. Look, just gently turn the pick. I am going to lose some other pins then, but 5 is now set. And I did here, as you probably did, a click-a-thon. But 6 is redone. 5. Got under 4, 3. Again, very, very light tension. This is 1. This is 1. So I've run into difficulty there, you see. Couldn't move the pick through that space. And there you go. 3 minutes for a lock that doesn't match up is incredible. To take the pick out, just gently wiggle it under the low cut pins, or if it hasn't got them, if you're lucky you've got loads of eye cuts and it's going to just, you know, pull out like that. But that's the CISA, which will also work on an ABUS. And now, of course, I'm going to grab my old plug spinner, multi-pick, flip it, pop that in there. I want it spun to the left. Bosh! And that just done exactly what I needed it done. And there you go. Lovely. Amazing. Excellente. Great tool, tricky lock, no problem. Right, now bear with me with this one because this is an ISEO or an ISEO, but I want you to see this one because my old mucker lock noob made a video this morning opening an ISEO or ISEO using a tool where you ain't getting much change from a monkey. Now, for those of you who don't speak the Queen's English, that's 500 nicker. Now, for those of you who don't speak the Queen's English, that's 500 quid. I'm going to leave that there. But this pick, I reckon I'm going to do this in about a minute. I'd be gutted if it was a lot longer than that. So let's crack on. It's locked there, as you can see. And you know how it works at this point. Pop that in. The tension wrench does get a little bit in the way. I could turn that out the way though. Go through just to make sure all the pins are working. There you go. Work my way through. Easy. Set bounce on 2. You know, I'm just feeling for clicks, set bounce, false sets, counter rotation, the guts, the fundamentals of lock picking. And if it doesn't open, I go back through it and I try variations, less tension, more tension, you know, less turning on the turner, more turning on the turner. It's just lock picking. 4 set just then. I think we've probably just got the 1 left to do. 5 is a 0 lift and didn't do that. There you go, 1 minute 20. You ain't looking in my mate's garage.
But it's especially important for getting attractive women to go crazy for you.
I mean, you're getting the idea by now, but I will show you the MUL-T-LOCK 3DS simply because it's a very quick pick. This shouldn't take me more than a minute. A minute! It's the external part of the cylinder, obviously, usually the most secure side. pop it in, tension it. I mean, you know, you've watched now. If you know what you're doing, even as a beginner, you know how to use these picks by now. You've seen me pick a couple, but I won't show you picking all of them. But this is interesting because it's got loads of real high cut pins, so the feedback is minimal. Look how far I'm turning the half moon on this one. You haven't seen that on the other two. Look, that's almost going horizontal. But these are setting like beagles. That's the multi-pick, multi-lock 3DS.
Legendary.
Okay, so here we go. WXM Lishi Dimple Style Pick. Check it out. And that is your WXM. Very familiar keyway. We're going to pick the external side. It's the Freestar WXM Plus. Now, I'm going to pick this anti-clockwise first. It's a harder way to pick it, weirdly enough. I'll tell you why as well, because when you tension it anti-clockwise, for some reason the pick drags a little bit and you lose a bit of feedback. But I'll show you the more difficult side first, just to show you it can be done. I'll go into a bit more detail of what I'm actually doing when I pick it clockwise in a minute or two. So I'm feeling for binding pins. And if you can't get that sort of half moon thing to move, you just move, you know, just twist it under the pin until you find the binder. And when you find the binder, you just apply, you just twist it and try and set it. Much like with Lishi Auto Picks, much like with the Yale LISHI-STYLE. And each time I do a pass, I'm essentially using a little bit more pressure on the turner, a little bit more tension. And you know, it couldn't be easier. We all know there's tools on the market now, 400-500 quid, that do this, but they're full of delicate parts. To me, they're ridiculous. When you can get a pick like this for a fifth of the price, it will do the job in a couple of minutes, and it's simple. If you're a lock picker of any stripe, you already know how this pick works. If you find a binder and you can't set it and a little bit more pressure hasn't worked, you can release a bit of tension like you would a spool pin, and that'll often give you a result. I just had a couple of them there. Again, this is the anti-clockwise. There you go. It was a bit more required on pin 4. So there you go, 360 degree turn, we're back to normal, start again, and now this is clockwise, which is suited to this pick. So same again, work through it. Feeling for a binder, 4's binding. That has got a really strong spring in it, noticeably different from the other pins. I don't know if that's deliberate, but 5's picked, and then it had the set bounce. It springs the pick back on its own power. So that's set bounce, that's set. You know it's set because it's got set bounce. One's good. I've applied a bit more tension as I'm moving back through there. I've got a bit more of a click on 4 there. Yeah. 1, look at the finesse, It was binding because it wasn't bouncing back. And you'll hear them as it's slowly setting. Come on, mate. 2, set bounce on 2, no problem there. 4's fine, 5's fine. And then you just do another pass, looking for a binder. that might. So there you go, the WXM 3-star ULTION, picked clockwise and anti-clockwise in about 4 minutes. Amazing, amazing.
It means a lot to me, so thanks.
Okay, so we will do one more just so we can summarise. This is the TESA T60, a lock I really don't like. Awful. Acer alloy essentially. I'm not great at picking these SPPs, so when I got hold of this pick, I thought, please, eat this. It prefers the anti-clockwise, to be honest with you. I've tried both. So first of all, let's summarise what we do. We go through looking for binders, making sure all the pins are working. We don't want to waste hours with broken locks. We can pick a couple on the way. I just set 5. I'm about to set 6. It'll loosen off the tension. That's there you go. I lightened up on the tension and that allowed me to do it. It caused me to drop 5 though, so I'm gonna I dropped 6, but I got that again. 5 set bouncing, no binding anywhere. 1, no, I think it's going to be that 5, isn't it? No, 6 again. So, and this is what you have to do, just keep doing passes. Lighten up the tension. Don't forget it's anti-clockwise, so it's a weirder lighten up the tension. 5 has cost me 6 again. No dramas though. So I've set 6. It's a really high cut. You can tell that half moon, you know, look how far it turns on 6. Look, that's how I cut it. That's how you can tell. So I go back through the rest looking for a binder. Five is set there. 6 is set again. That's you're gonna get that with a pin that's cut like that. It's a troublemaker. Doesn't mean you can't pick it. It just means you have to take it into account. And 6 set again. But we did get a turn on the pick, so I think that's set like it wasn't before. 2's binding, get under it perfectly, clicked nicely, a little turn on the core as well. Set bounce on 2. Set bounce is beautiful. Always check for it, and then you know you've got it set. 1 is either or, so I'm going to go back through them. Oh, 6 is still good, so it's got to be 1. Oh, and there you go. 3 minutes. I'm not going to bother picking it clockwise. I'm going to get my plug spinner, and I'm going to really enjoy putting it in this lock that I don't like and go, oi you, oi, have it. Job's a good un. And you can finish off the job with your pick. I don't like those locks, but when I can pick one with 3 minutes, I put an hour's practice into that. Fantastic tools. I've said fantastic, I've said amazing. Exquisite, darling. Absolutely exquisite. Sorry. Look at that. I said I weren't going to go through them all, but we've done pretty much all of them, so I might as well do the Brisson ULTION 3-star. I'm going to do the L4V next week, but I might as well show you this. My record is 2.5 minutes. It's a €0.5 padlock. It's easier anti-clockwise, but because this padlock only opens in the clockwise direction, I'm going to take it on. So it's a lot trickier. It's going to take a bit more time, but if you're not patient with time, I'm guessing lockpicking is probably not for you, because if you can't wait 3 minutes, so make sure we're all the way in nicely. And because it doesn't go all the way in, Number 6 is to the left of the 6 marker, and that is going to affect the rest of the pins. But I set 6 there, left of the 5th marker. Oh, very left. Very light tension here, but I'm varying the tension as I'm going along, because that might teach me something. I'm using all the different pins to tell me what is the right tension. Up it, up it, up it, and then just do another pass. Got another click out of 6. I'm assuming that's in now. Nothing on 5, 4, 3 is offering me some resistance. Lose the tension a bit. I put a bit more effort on the turner, so less tension, more turner there. Got a click out of 3 there. And then just do another pass. Very gentle, very delicate this one. 6 set again. So I'm losing 6 when I set another one, but that's alright. Something fell into a false set there, but that's no dramas. And now I'm just doing passes. I'm looking for the elusive pin that's, and I think it's pin 3. Release tension very gently, a bit more turning pressure on the wheel. Oh look, and that is set. Bit set bounce there, not a lot, but enough to tell me it's set. And they're on 2. 1 was debatable. 6 has gone again. Go on. And there you go. 2 minutes 51. So trickier going clockwise, but it's doable. And yeah, I like to let my plug spin asleep occasionally.
No.
Well, there you go, people. We got there in the end. I hope you're as impressed with these as I am. There's a link in the description if you want to get yourself a couple. What more can I say? You know, I love this style pick. You know, I love the Yale style. I love the Lishi Auto picks. And for me, for the price point of these, you can't go wrong. If you're dealing with one of these or 2 of these lock types out in the field for 70 odd quid, I mean, yeah, these are magical and so exciting to see this kind of innovation, not over engineered, not 500 quid, not taking the piss basically. And don't forget, next week I'll be doing the Locks for Vans Lishi Dimple style pick and comparing it with a £500 Locks for Vans pick. So look out for that too. Share the videos, thumbs it up, subscribe the hell out of it, and look after yourselves. Ta-da!
No.
Legendary.